This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now then, I've had quite a few emails over recent weeks and months asking me what happened to the What Makes This Solo Work style videos that I used to do. And the truth is that I used to put a lot of work and effort into doing those videos, and then 9 times out of 10 they would get demonetized by YouTube, and you know, I got bills to pay, so I thought I needed to kind of concentrate on making other kinds of videos that were going to earn me you know, some money. Let's be blunt about this. But since I've launched the Patreon thing, that is now a revenue stream that I can kind of rely upon, and you know, that means that I can afford to, you know, not always rely upon making revenue out of the YouTube videos. So I'm going to be starting to do more of that type of content again. So what are we doing today? Well, as you've probably gathered, it's the solo from Telegraph Road by Mark Knopfler, featured on the Dire Straits album Love Over Gold. Now, the reason I chose this solo is because there are any number of you know, solo analysis for Mark Knopfler things all over the internet, but it always seems to be very Sultans of Swing centric, if you know what I mean. It always seems to be kind of looking at that solo, or maybe the intro riff from Money for Nothing and that kind of stuff. So I thought I'd just put my little take of this Telegraph Road solo out there, because that album, I think, is probably, you know, up there with my favourite Dire Straits albums. I'd say the first album is probably my favourite, but this is probably a close second. So, on the subject of Patreon, let's get this out the way right now. $3 a month and you get a monthly podcast. You get all kinds of solo tabs and jam tracks and stuff like that, including the tab for this solo and the jam track for it. Anyway, enough of that. Let's crack on and have a look at what's going on in the solo. Here's a lick by lick analysis. Okay then, here's lick number 1, nice and slowly. Couple of things to note here. First of all, let's get the obvious out of the way. It's played over a chord sequence which is centered around an F major tonality, so we're using F major pentatonic. Largely based around that pattern for most of the solo. And the particular chords within that chord sequence that we're playing over here are F and D minor, both of which contain this A note here, which is why we see a strong presence of that A note in the lick, either there or basically here on the 12th fret, 3rd string as a bend. And the final thing of note about this lick is that little Knopflerism there, that sort of mid-bend dip. Bend up, dip, and back up again. How many Mark Knopfler solos have you seen that in? So that's lick number 1. Let's have a look at lick number 2, which goes like this. And the main thing to note here is we add in a little bit of a colour tone, this B flat note here. Why is B flat there? Well, because it's in 2 of the chords that we're going to be playing over in this chord sequence, the B flat chord and the G minor chord. Okay, now we're not hanging on to it here, it's not a strong note from the underlying chord, but it is one of the notes in one of the chords in the sequence. So we can just kind of sneak it in as a little thing like that he does here. This G note, however, is the kind of punchline of this lick. It's in the underlying C major chord that we're playing over by the time we reach that note. So that's lick number 2. Let's have a look at lick number 3. Okay, again back to just the simple F major pentatonic, but we're playing over a B flat chord here, and that B flat chord contains a D note, which is why he hangs on to that note. Concluding on that note there, again, just kind of focusing in on a strong chord note. That is lick number 3. Let's move on to the next one. Excuse me while I consult my tab. Yes, here we have another little Knopflerism, the rake. That kind of thing. Now, he often does this across like an arpeggio. You'll see this on the intro solo of Sultans of Swing, where he'll go, where he's taking a D minor chord and doing that. But here, to the best of my hearing, he's playing it over just some muted string to land on this B flat note here. Why? Because we've got a B flat chord coming, well, at this point in the solo. That's the chord we're playing over now. There's the entire lick. I'll play it slowly. Main points to note here are where he goes to the C and F notes there, which are from the F chord that we're playing over, and then culminating once again on the G note that's present in the C chord that we've moved to by the time we hit that note. So that's lick number 4. Now let's have a look at lick number 5. Okay, what we've got here is basically a lick that's all about building tension. I'll play the lick. That's the lick. It's a bit of a longer one, this one, and it's building tension because it's played over an extra bar. The vast majority of chord sequences tend to be in multiples of 4 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars, 12 bars, 16 bars, and so on. The first half of this solo, which is kind of where we're at now, at the end of that, the first half is based around a 9-bar chord sequence where there's an extra bar of G minor played as a bit of a crescendo to lead us into the F major chord, home chord at the beginning of the next section of the solo. And it's no surprise really here that once again F major pentatonic, but with a strong presence on this B flat note. How's the lick go again? Let me just have a look. Yeah, that's it. It goes. So really kind of hammering that B flat note home there because it's being played over the G minor chord. So that is lick number 4. Number 5, I beg your pardon. Now let's have a look at number 6. Okay, and I'm back. I had to take a little bit of a time out there to go and clean up after the dog. He's got this weird penchant for eating horse manure, which has consequences, and I'll leave it at that. Anyway, lick number 6 goes like this. Which, as you can see, is once again largely based around the F major pentatonic that I mentioned earlier. Only one extra note creeping in here. This is the E note here in this part of the lick. There like that. Why is the E note there? Well, because as we've seen, we've got a C major chord that we're playing over in part of this chord sequence, and that C major chord has an E note in it, and it, again, like the B flat in, I think it was lick number 2, it's just being added as a colour tone. It's not really focusing in on anything in the chord. Where that happens, where we're focusing on the chord note, is after that, where it goes. These two notes here, this C note at the 13th fret on the B string, and the G note 12th fret on the G string. Those are straight out of the C major chord that we're playing over. Okay, so that's lick number 6. Let's have a look at lick number 7, which is played over a B flat chord, and it's really nothing more than just a bit of a tour around some B flat chord notes. So this C being bent up to a D, D is in the B flat chord, and there's that sort of mid-bend dip Knopflerism thing again. And then F is in the B flat chord, and you know, we've got a G note there which isn't in the chord, but it's only kind of there fleetingly, and it's still part of the overall scale, so it's going to work. A B flat chord contains the D note, but that's basically the lick. It's nothing really earth-shattering. And that's lick number 7. Now let's move on to the big finish of the solo here. We slide up to what is effectively position number 4 of F major pentatonic. That shape there. And there's not really a lot of chord note targeting going on here. That's not the point of this lick. The point is it's a big kind of high register, you know, kind of climax to the solo. And so there it is. It's just a general kind of little noodle around the top end of that position number 4 pentatonic. Where we are targeting chord notes, it's usually this G note here, which is at the 20th fret on the B string. And we approach it a couple of times like that, bend up to the A, and then come back to the G. So you're creating a little bit of tension by going to a non-chord note, the A note, and then when it resolves back down to the G over the C chord, it sounds all the more resolved as a result of it. So that is the series of licks in this solo. I'm going to play through the whole thing now, nice and slowly, so you can see it all strung together. And there you have it. That's what's going on in this solo. And yes, I know I played it on a Telecaster and I used a plectrum. That's because I'm not a Mark Knopfler impersonator. That's not what this is about. It's about kind of learning what you can gather from someone else's style and incorporating it into your own style. And my style includes using a pick. The other thing that is worth noting about the phrasing of that solo is that if you take a look at this scan that I did of the tab that I printed out, and you can see where I've used a highlighter pen to circle the phrases, the licks, and those arrows that you can see there show where the bar lines are. So you can see that in the vast majority of the phrases in the solo, the phrases begin on one side of the bar line and conclude on another side of the bar line. So starting before the bar and running into the bar and then concluding somewhere in the beginning of the following bar. Sometimes you might make the lick go over a couple of bars. So that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've got something from this. Hope you found it useful, informative, and maybe even a little bit inspiring or entertaining. And if you have, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and make sure you ring the notification bell. And why not give me a like while you're at it? As I say, you can grab the tab for this and lots of other great goodies if you go and sign up for my Patreon. Links are all in the description below. And yeah, thanks for watching, folks. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now.